The system is starting. You have been chosen to hear this. It is not by accident. In a world filled with noise, where everyone is quick to speak, quick to judge, you are being invited into a space of sacred silence, or a place where there is no opinion, no pressure, no expectations. It is just you and the voice that truly needs to be heard. Today, I have not come to add noise to your life. I have come to remind you, it is in silence that your soul is healed, and your mission begins.
Have you ever wondered if the people around you are truly sincere? Do friendly smiles and sweet words sometimes mask jealousy and deceit? We often assume we can easily recognize genuine individuals, but in reality, it's not always that simple. Hidden envy and deception can be disguised so well that the most dangerous people in our lives are often the ones we least suspect. Imagine this. You're celebrating a significant achievement, surrounded by friends and colleagues offering their congratulations, yet something doesn't feel right. Perhaps among them is someone concealing their jealousy beneath a polite smile, outwardly happy for you, but their eyes and body language betray a different emotion. These subtle but telling signs can help you recognize jealousy and deception in others. In today's discussion, I will share with you 10 powerful methods to identify hidden envy and dishonesty, inspired by the wisdom of Billy Graham. These timeless lessons will not only help you maintain emotional control and inner peace, but also equip you to recognize and navigate relationships with greater clarity. By applying these principles, you will become stronger and wiser in handling jealousy and deceit while cultivating meaningful, honest connection. These methods will shield you from toxic relationships and guide you toward a life of greater peace and fulfillment. Before we begin, I have a small challenge for you. Read through this message to the end and absorb every lesson, as each one plays a vital role in helping you stay true to your path. If you're ready to embrace these insights, let me know by commenting, "I am ready to embark on this journey." Observe their actions. One of the fundamental lessons Billy Graham emphasized is this: don't trust words alone, trust actions. A person's behavior is the truest indicator of their character and intentions. Words can be manipulated, disguised, and even outright fabricated, but actions reveal the truth. When observing people, look for inconsistencies between what they say and what they do. Someone might shower you with praise while secretly working against you. A colleague might commend your success, but later downplay your efforts or even sabotage your work. It's their actions, not their words, that expose their true nature. Have you ever felt that someone's words and actions didn't align? Have you encountered someone who promised to support you but was absent when you needed them? These contradictions are often rooted in jealousy and insincerity. As Billy Graham taught, a person's integrity is defined by their deeds, not their words. Consider a friend who claims they will always be there for you but disappears when times get tough. Their behavior reveals more about them than any words ever could. Pay attention to how people act when no one is watching or when they have nothing to gain. That's when their true character is most evident. Evaluate their response to your success. People's reactions to your achievements can reveal their true feelings. Those who are genuinely happy for you will celebrate your progress, while jealous individuals will struggle to hide their discomfort. They may attempt to downplay your success, offer backhanded compliments, or subtly criticize your efforts. There's a saying, the only person you should try to be better than is the person you were yesterday. A true friend or supporter will be happy for your growth because they understand that each of your achievements is a step towards self-improvement. On the other hand, those harboring envy will perceive your success as a threat, a reminder of their own stagnation. Think about the last time you accomplished something meaningful. How did those around you react? True supporters will encourage and uplift you without hesitation, while those fueled by jealousy will seek to undermine your confidence. Some may try to dismiss your success as luck or claim it wasn't a big deal. So how do you handle those who exhibit jealousy and deceit? Will you confront them or simply distance yourself? According to Billy Graham's teachings, we must learn to let go of what we cannot control. Focus on your growth and surround yourself with people who genuinely wish to see you succeed. Notice how they treat those who can't benefit them. Billy Graham often spoke about the importance of kindness and respect toward everyone, especially those who are vulnerable or of lower status. A person's true character is revealed by how they treat those who cannot offer them anything in return. A sincere individual shows kindness and respect to everyone, regardless of social standing. Whether interacting with a world leader or a service worker, they maintain a consistent level of respect and humility. In contrast, jealous and deceitful individuals often treat people based on what they can gain from them. They may be overly friendly with those in power while looking down on those they consider beneath them. For instance, consider a colleague who is polite and charming to their boss, but rude and dismissive toward waitstaff or subordinates. This behavior exposes a lack of genuine character and reveals insecurity and selfishness. Observing how others treat those with less power not only helps us identify deceit, but also encourages us to reflect on our own behavior. How do you treat those who cannot benefit you? By fostering kindness and sincerity in our own actions, we align ourselves with the wisdom of Billy Graham and create a more honest and fulfilling life. Understanding these principles will empower you to build stronger, more genuine relationships and protect yourself from hidden jealousy and deception. When you focus on actions over words, evaluate people's responses to your success, and observe how they treat others, you gain the clarity needed to surround yourself with sincerity and positivity. The key to a fulfilling life isn't just in recognizing the truth in others, it's in embodying it yourself. Are you ready to observe and identify such people? Try applying this method in your daily life and notice the changes. Distinguish between praise and flattery. Excessive flattery is a clear sign of deception and jealousy that many people often ignore. Sincere compliments are always constructive, but when they go beyond reasonable limits, you should be wary. Remember, it's not what others say about you that truly matters, but what you think about yourself. Your self-worth should not depend on compliments from others, especially when those compliments do not come from the heart. Do those compliments genuinely match the achievements you've made? When receiving excessive praise, ask yourself, does this person have are they trying to gain something from me? Excessive flattery is often a sign of insincerity. The person using it may be trying to hide their jealousy or take advantage of you. Billy Graham emphasized the importance of sincerity and integrity in one's actions. While receiving compliments can be satisfying, what if those compliments have bad intentions? Excessive praise can lower your guard and make you susceptible to manipulation. Therefore, instead of being swept away by insincere compliments, learn to evaluate them objectively. Stay true to your core values, and don't let flattery cloud your judgment. A good example is in the workplace. You might notice that some colleagues often flatter you but never support you when you need help. They may act friendly and compliment you in front of everyone, but criticize or speak poorly about you behind your back. Recognizing and dealing with excessive flattery helps protect you from fake and jealous people and encourages you to live more authentically. Always be alert to the motives behind compliments and continuously affirm your true self-worth. Believe in yourself and use wisdom to stay steadfast in who you are, building relationships based on sincerity and mutual respect. Have you ever encountered a situation where you were overly flattered? How did you feel and how did you react? Share your story in the comments below. Your experiences are very valuable to us. Monitor consistency when evaluating a person. Pay attention to how they act and behave in different situations. Observe whether their actions match their words. Saying is easy, doing is difficult. Billy Graham encouraged us to assess whether people's behavior aligns with their stated beliefs and declarations over time. This is an effective way to recognize jealous and insincere individuals. When evaluating someone, observe how they act in various situations. Do they uphold their principles and values consistently, or do they change their attitudes and behaviors to suit their circumstances or personal goals? A jealous and deceitful person often cannot maintain this consistency. They might appear friendly and sincere when facing those they need to take advantage of, but become cold and mean when those people are no longer useful to them. For instance, a person may claim to be sincere and praise you in front of everyone, but then complain about your success behind your back. You might notice strange gestures when they compliment you. This doesn't just happen once, but repeatedly. When you notice an anomaly, don't rush to judge. Patiently observe more to see if actions contrary to words are a pattern. It's crucial to note whether these are isolated incidents or part of a recurring pattern. Where is the consistency in their actions? If they show a completely different face when you're not around, this is a clear sign of jealousy and deception. Another way to gauge consistency is to observe how they treat others. A sincere person will treat everyone with respect and fairness, without discriminating based on personal interests. They won't flatter one person and ignore another just for personal gain. Consistency in behavior reflects a person's honesty and trustworthiness. Ask yourself, do you recognize someone in your life who is acting inconsistently? Do the people around you maintain their values and principles under all circumstances? If the answer is no, be careful. Such people may be hiding jealousy and lies. We are halfway through our journey today. Thank you for your presence. Your support is a great source of encouragement for us in bringing true values to more people. Please like and share this video to spread these lessons to your relatives and friends, helping to build a happier and more peaceful world. Leave a comment with "Always observe carefully" to let us know you are ready to embrace wisdom and full of energy to continue your journey with the next 5 lessons. Observe their attitude when criticized. Billy Graham once said, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth which never harmed anyone." It is the person who continues in their self-deception and ignorance who is harmed. This quote emphasizes that truly wise and sincere individuals are always open to receiving constructive criticism because their ultimate goal is truth and self-improvement. When criticized, a wise person sees it as an opportunity for self-improvement rather than a threat to their self-esteem. Conversely, jealous and deceitful people often react negatively and defensively to criticism. They tend to retaliate harshly, correct others, or even attempt to discredit. This reaction stems from a fear of exposing their true nature or a reluctance to admit their flaws. Have you ever witnessed a colleague or acquaintance become angry or defensive when criticized? This may be a sign they are hiding insecurities and lacking confidence. Let's take an example. A good and sincere leader will listen and respond constructively to feedback from employees, understanding that this not only helps them grow, but also creates a positive and effective work environment. In contrast, an insincere and jealous leader may ignore or even punish employees who criticize them, fostering an atmosphere of fear and tension. Ask yourself, the last time you were criticized, how did you react? Were you open to receiving and reflecting on what was said, or did you immediately try to justify and refute it? Your answer can provide insight into both yourself and those around you. Before we move on to the next lesson, let me ask you this. Do you know someone who frequently judges and compares others? If so, it might be time to re-evaluate your relationship with them. Why? Let's find out in the next lesson. Attentively notice unintentional comparisons. In daily life, we often encounter unconscious comparisons. These comparisons are not merely harmless remarks, they can be signs of hidden jealousy and deceit. According to wisdom, listening and understanding these comparisons is one effective way to recognize jealous and insincere individuals. When someone unconsciously compares you to others, they might reveal more about themselves than about you. These comparisons often stem from a place of insecurity and jealousy. For example, if a colleague constantly compares your success to others, it may indicate that they feel threatened by your progress. Those who frequently compare you to others might be trying to diminish your value, making you feel inadequate and unworthy. This behavior is often a way to mask their insecurities and create an illusion of superiority. The illusion of superiority can often manifest in subtle ways. Imagine a specific scenario where you achieve a significant milestone at work, and instead of congratulating you, a colleague responds with, "That's good, but I think John is still better." This isn't just an innocent comparison, it's a sign of jealousy. Your colleague may feel envious of your success and is trying to downplay it. Recognizing unconscious comparisons helps you identify who genuinely supports you. True friends don't need to compare you to others to validate their admiration or respect. They appreciate you for who you are, not in relation to someone else. Ask yourself who in your life frequently makes these subtle comparisons. Are they truly trustworthy? When you hear belittling comparisons, how do they make you feel? Billy Graham's teachings encourage us to view such things as external influences, factors beyond our control. Understanding this distinction helps us protect our inner peace. Do you agree with this perspective? If so, like the video. If not, comment 0 so we can explore and discuss it further. Number 8, pay attention to how people react to personal failures. Billy Graham emphasized that failure is not just a test of patience and maturity, but also a clear reflection of a person's true character and motivations. Those who are strong and honest face failure with humility, accepting responsibility and learning from their mistakes. They understand that setbacks are inevitable and see them as opportunities for growth. Instead of blaming others or making excuses, they acknowledge their failures and strive to improve. These are the people you can trust and admire. Conversely, jealous and deceitful individuals handle failure differently. They seek external excuses, blaming circumstances or others rather than learning from their mistakes. They may even fabricate stories to protect their egos, gossip about others, or distort facts to shift attention away from their own shortcoming. Have you ever encountered someone who always blames others when things go wrong? If so, have you considered that this might be a sign of jealousy and deceit? To recognize these traits more clearly, observe how people react when they fail. Do they admit their mistakes? Are they open to learning and changing? Or do they avoid responsibility and shift blame onto others? An honest person will acknowledge their mistakes and work towards improvement, while a deceitful person will always protect their ego and evade the truth. Billy Graham once emphasized that a person's true nature is revealed in times of adversity. This wisdom reminds us that how someone responds to failure speaks volumes about their character. Pay close attention to how those around you handle their setbacks. Don't be misled by mere words or appearances. Have you had experiences that align with these observations? If so, like the video and share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Number 9, evaluate how people share personal information. Billy Graham once said, "What you say about others says more about you than it does about them." The way someone shares information reflects their inner thoughts and sincerity, or lack thereof. His teachings encourage us to consider how a person speaks about their successes and failures. A sincere individual shares humbly, focusing on the lessons learned rather than boasting. In contrast, a deceitful person often exaggerates achievements or fabricates them to impress and manipulate others. Ask yourself, does this person seem overly proud of their accomplishments? Do they emphasize trivial details to bolster their credibility? It's equally important to observe how they talk about their failures. A truly honest person won't hesitate to admit mistakes and share what they've learned. A deceitful person, however, avoids discussing failures, or if they do, they blame external factors instead of taking responsibility. This is a clear sign of insincerity. Jealous individuals often spread personal information with ill intent, revealing secrets entrusted to them or distorting the truth to undermine others. When someone shares negative or false information, they are attempting to manipulate perceptions and create conflict, which ultimately reflects their own insecurities and weaknesses. In everyday conversations, listen for these signs. Does the person frequently speak ill of others? Do they often compare themselves to others to elevate their own status? These are not just petty remarks, but indicators of jealousy and a troubled heart. Becoming more aware of these patterns helps protect us from negative influences. If something seems off, don't hesitate to ask questions. This leads us to our final lesson. Number 10, listen to your inner voice. Have you ever had a colleague who seemed friendly and helpful, yet you always felt uneasy around them? If so, stop and listen to your instincts. This discomfort could be a sign that your intuition is warning you about dishonesty or jealousy. Think back to times when you felt suspicious about someone without a clear reason. That's your instinct at work, acting as an internal defense mechanism against potential threat. When you feel uneasy, take a step back and evaluate the situation. Does this person always try to compete with you? Do their compliments seem insincere? Small behaviors like these can indicate jealousy and deceit. Ask yourself, why do I feel uncomfortable around this person? If the answer lies in their inconsistent words and actions, it could be a warning sign from your instincts. Imagine a colleague who is always outwardly supportive, but frequently compares themselves to you or makes subtle remarks about others' failures. Even if they never directly attack you, you can sense the underlying competition. In such cases, your instincts are alerting you to potential jealousy and deception. Never underestimate your inner voice. It is a powerful tool that helps distinguish between genuine individuals and those who only pretend to be supportive. However, while intuition is important, it should be balanced with reason. By harmonizing both, we can make informed decisions rather than acting on impulse. Identifying jealousy and deceit is not always easy, but it's a crucial skill for protecting our well-being and value. Deceitful individuals can be found in both close relationships and casual social interactions. They may appear as friends, but deep down foster insecurity and conflict. Billy Graham's teachings encourage us to live with wisdom and peace. By applying these principles, we can recognize and remove negativity from our lives. Remember, life is too precious to be wasted on people who don't truly support you. Use the insights shared today to recognize and avoid those who harbor jealousy and deceit. You deserve a life filled with joy, peace, and positive relationships. Thank you for watching. If you found these strategies helpful, share this video with your friends and family so we can build a better life together. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay updated on valuable content. Challenge yourself to apply at least one of these strategies in your daily life. Then come back and comment, "I did it." I'd love to hear about the changes you've experienced. Let Billy Graham's wisdom be your guide, helping you find strength and peace on your journey. Billy Graham once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." In a world that constantly seeks to dictate how we should feel, think, and act, imagine possessing the power to find inner peace and joy regardless of the chaos swirling around you. That isn't just powerful, it's transformative. It's about taking control, not of the external world, but of something far more significant and within your reach, your own mind. Billy Graham's teachings emphasize resilience, gratitude, and living a life filled with purpose and faith. But this isn't just about history, it's about you, your life today, and how to face the challenges of our modern world without losing your peace. It's about finding stillness in the storm, joy in the simplest moments, and transforming your mornings from something you dread into a foundation for a day filled with meaning. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by the noise of life, struggled to find peace, or wondered how faith can be your anchor in today's fast-pacing world, Stay with us. This might just be the message that changes everything for you. Let's dive into the biblical principles that can help us craft not just a morning routine, but a life filled with intention, resilience, and lasting happiness. I encourage you to watch this video with your full attention. If you're here, you're different from the rest, someone who seeks wisdom and depth. Your commitment to absorbing these lessons fully sets you apart even further. A concept that beautifully aligns with faith is one that originates from Japan, Ikigai. It is the idea of discovering the intersection between your passion, skills, the world's needs, and what you can offer. Imagine waking up each morning with a clear, God-given purpose, something that excites you and makes hitting the snooze button irrelevant. Billy Graham didn't just preach about enduring life's hardships. He urged people to see each day as an opportunity to fulfill God's calling with integrity and passion. When you align your daily actions with your God-given purpose, even the simplest tasks take on profound meaning. Your relationships flourish, your creativity soars, and happiness becomes a constant companion rather than a fleeting visitor. But how do you uncover your purpose? It starts with reflection. Ask yourself, what has God placed on my heart? What am I naturally good at? How can I serve others in a meaningful way? If the answers don't come immediately, that's okay. This is a journey, one of prayer, discovery, and faith. This pursuit isn't just about personal fulfillment. It's about recognizing your role in God's grand design and embracing it fully. When you live with this alignment, even life's difficulties become opportunities for spiritual growth rather than setbacks. The key to a powerful morning starts the night before. It's easy to fall into the habit of staying up late, scrolling through social media or binge watching TV. But how does that prepare you for the day ahead? Your mind needs time to unwind, to process the events of the day, and to recharge for what's to come. This is where a meaningful evening routine makes all the difference. Treating your evenings with the same intention and respect as your mornings isn't about rigid discipline. It's about prioritizing your well-being and aligning with your God-given purpose. For example, limiting screen time before bed isn't about depriving yourself of entertainment. It's about signaling to your mind that it's time to rest, making it easier to wake up refreshed. Planning the next day, even by writing down a few key priorities, helps set a clear direction and ensures you wake up with intention. A moment of prayer or meditation before bed can center your spirit, reduce stress, and prepare you for true rest. When you surrender your worries to God, you sleep in peace, knowing He is in control. In today's world, this might sound like a challenge, but it is vital for setting the tone of your day. Picture this, your morning, untainted by digital distractions, email notifications, or social media noise. Instead, it's just you, your thoughts, and the quiet presence of God. That isn't just refreshing, it's empowering. Billy Graham often emphasized the importance of starting the day with prayer and scripture, setting the foundation for a day rooted in faith rather than the chaos of the world. So, how can we apply this wisdom in our daily lives? It starts with creating a morning space free from digital distractions. This isn't about avoiding technology altogether, but about choosing not to let it dictate the beginning of your day. Instead of reaching for your phone first thing in the morning, begin with gratitude. Dedicate the first moments of your day to God, whether through prayer, scripture, journaling, or simply reflecting on His blessings. These aren't wasted moments. They are an investment in your well-being and spiritual strength. Making the most of your mornings isn't about adding more to your to-do list. It's about removing distractions that don't serve you. Prioritize what truly matters before the demands of the world start pulling at your attention. This is where biblical wisdom shines. We may not control everything in our day, but we can certainly influence how we start it. You might not be able to stop the flood of emails waiting for you, but you can control how and when you choose to engage with them. So tomorrow morning, challenge yourself to start your day on your terms. Resist the urge to dive into the digital world first thing. Instead, anchor yourself in the present moment, savoring the peace and potential that the morning holds. Every day is a new opportunity to live more intentionally, more peacefully, and more in alignment with who God has called you to be. Let's make our mornings a testament to the life we want to live and the faith we hold dear. Guided by the timeless wisdom of Billy Graham and an unwavering focus on what truly matters, the foundation of a purposeful life lies in understanding what we can control and acting with intention and faith. Billy Graham's teachings emphasize not just enduring life's hardships, but actively engaging with life, taking responsibility for our actions, and shaping our mindset through faith. Waking up consistently is one practice that reflects this principle. A declaration that we have control over how we start our day and are not at the mercy of external pressures. Building a life of faith, as Billy Graham encouraged, is done step by step, finding contentment in each moment. A seemingly simple habit, like waking up at the same time each morning, serves as a cornerstone that shapes everything else. It creates a stable foundation, allowing us to start the day with purpose rather than rushing in chaos. However, consistency is challenging by design. The early days of trying to establish a morning routine can feel like a struggle, with the comfort of bed pulling us back and the temptation to hit snooze proving strong. This is where perseverance, deeply rooted in faith, becomes essential. It is about reminding ourselves why we are committed to this habit and recognizing the person we are becoming through this discipline. It is about looking beyond the immediate comfort and focusing on the long-term benefits this practice will bring. Becoming a morning person is not merely about the morning itself. It is about embodying qualities of resilience, focus, and intention that extend into every part of our life. It is an act of self-discipline, aligning our actions with our faith and cultivating a life of purpose, one morning at a time. To make consistency a trusted ally, begin by setting a clear intention the night before. Remind yourself why waking up at a specific time is important. Is it to spend time in prayer, read scripture, exercise, or simply begin the day in a more peaceful and controlled manner? Then, create an environment that supports this habit, perhaps going to bed earlier, setting an alarm across the room, or allowing natural light to wake you. And when it gets difficult, remember the biblical principle of relying on God's strength rather than our own. Each morning that you rise at your chosen time is not just the beginning of another day. It is a reaffirmation of your commitment to personal growth, faith, and purposeful living. While discipline and consistency are crucial, it is equally important to embrace grace and self-compassion. We are human, and that means we are prone to struggles and setbacks. This is why establishing new habits like transforming our mornings can initially feel daunting. But acknowledging this reality is not a flaw, it is an honest acceptance of our nature. Billy Graham often spoke of God's grace as the foundation of transformation. It is not about perfection, but about persistence and faith. When we fall short, we must learn from the experience and move forward rather than dwelling on self-criticism. The early stages of building a habit can be difficult. Some mornings the alarm will go off and every fiber of our being will long to stay in bed. And on some days we may give in. That is okay. What matters most is what we do next. Do we let guilt consume us, or do we extend grace to ourselves and commit to trying again the next morning? True strength is found in resilience, not in never falling, but in always getting back up. Practicing self-compassion does not mean making excuses or giving up on our goals. It means recognizing that growth is a process filled with learning curves and setbacks. Each new day is an opportunity to recalibrate, to embrace new challenges, and to rely on God's guidance. This daily renewal is what strengthens our faith and resilience. As we work towards consistent early mornings or any new discipline, we must celebrate the small victories, learn from our mistakes, and continue forward with determination and grace. Consider something as simple as placing your alarm clock across the room. This small act is more than just a practical trick. It is a statement of intent. It signifies a commitment to rise and start the day on your terms, resisting the comfort of sleep and stepping into the morning with purpose. Similarly, making your bed each morning might seem insignificant, but it reflects care and discipline. It is a quiet declaration that your environment matters and that the order you create in your surroundings mirrors the discipline you are building within. Billy Graham often emphasized the power of small, consistent choices in shaping our character. These seemingly minor decisions, repeated daily, accumulate into something profound. Each time you choose to rise, to prepare your space, and to engage with your day intentionally, you are reinforcing a commitment to discipline, faith, and self-respect. These choices become the building blocks of a life that is grounded, purposeful, and prepared for greater challenges ahead. Why focus on these small acts? Because they are within our reach. We cannot always control life's major events, the unexpected turns, the challenges, or the uncertainties, but we can control how we start our day, how we treat our immediate surroundings, and how we prepare ourselves for what lies ahead. This is faith in action, focusing on what is within our power and surrendering the rest to God. Moreover, these habits are not just about building discipline for its own sake. They are about cultivating a mindset that is prepared for life's greater tests. When we train ourselves in small acts of discipline, we develop the ability to follow through in larger commitments, remain steady in adversity, and approach life with faith and resilience. These qualities reflect the teachings of Billy Graham, living with intention, guided by faith, and steadfast in the pursuit of what truly matters. So as you consider discipline in your life, start small. Identify everyday opportunities to practice self-control and order. Remember that it is in the quiet moments of morning, in the decision to rise, to pray, to prepare, that your character is shaped. These habits are not mere tasks, they are rituals, infusing your day with purpose and your life with meaning. One simple yet powerful strategy for maintaining consistency is sharing your goals with someone who supports and holds you accountable. Whether it is a friend, family member, or mentor, having someone to encourage and check in on you can significantly enhance your chances of success. Transformation is not always a solitary journey. We grow stronger when we walk alongside those who uplift and inspire us. Ultimately, a life of discipline and faith is not about rigid rules or harsh expectations. It is about aligning our daily actions with our greater purpose, making small but meaningful choices that reflect our commitment to growth. As Billy Graham often preached, faith is a journey, not a destination. By embracing consistency, grace, and perseverance, we not only shape our mornings, but cultivate a life that is centered in faith, purpose, and unwavering trust in God. Transforming a personal journey into a shared adventure makes the pursuit of a meaningful morning routine and ultimately a purposeful life less daunting and more fulfilling. Having an accountability partner turns self-discipline into a collaborative effort, ensuring that even on the hardest mornings, you have someone to remind you of your commitments and encourage you when progress feels slow. They celebrate your victories, no matter how small, and help you stay aligned with your goals. This relationship is built on mutual support, rooted in the understanding that self-improvement is a collective journey rather than a solitary struggle. Billy Graham often emphasized the importance of surrounding oneself with a strong, faith-driven community, people who uplift, inspire, and challenge one another to grow spiritually and personally. He understood that faith is not meant to be lived in isolation, but nurtured through fellowship, accountability, and shared wisdom. In today's world, finding an accountability partner aligns with this timeless principle. It acknowledges that while discipline and purpose are deeply personal pursuits, they are strengthened through the encouragement of others. Having such a partner can provide insights into blind spots, offering perspectives that catalyze growth in unexpected ways. More than just a reminder to wake up on time or follow through with morning prayers, this connection fosters meaningful conversations about what works, what doesn't, and how to adjust to stay on track. When seeking an accountability partner, look for someone who shares your values and commitment to self-betterment, someone you trust to be honest and supportive. This could be a friend, family member, or mentor. Establish clear expectations, schedule regular check-ins, and make the effort to uplift each other through advice, encouragement, and when necessary, gentle correction. True accountability isn't about external motivation alone, but about forming a bond that cultivates spiritual and personal growth. It creates a space of honesty and trust where both partners thrive in a shared commitment to living a disciplined, purpose-driven life. Billy Graham often spoke about the brevity of life and the urgency of living with purpose. Reflecting on the fleeting nature of time is not meant to instill fear, but rather to inspire action. Every morning is a gift, an opportunity to engage with life intentionally, to serve others, and to strengthen our relationship with God. Graham's messages were filled with reminders to focus on what truly matters, to prioritize faith, relationships, and acts of kindness over trivial distraction. When we start our mornings with this perspective, we shift our focus from mere routine to purposeful living. This awareness can profoundly influence how we spend our time, the relationships we invest in, and the legacy we strive to build. Rather than allowing ourselves to be consumed by temporary frustrations or superficial pursuits, we anchor ourselves in what is eternal. Remembering the brevity of life also fosters resilience. When we recognize that each day is a gift, we become less troubled by daily inconveniences and more focused on long-term spiritual growth. It helps us maintain perspective, reducing the power that setbacks or disappointments hold over us. Gratitude flourishes in this mindset, allowing us to approach each day with a renewed sense of appreciation for the blessings we often take for granted. This principle is not about dwelling on the end of life, but about embracing the present fully, choosing to live with intention, love with depth, and serve with sincerity. To incorporate this mindset into your daily routine, start each morning with a moment of reflection. Consider the opportunities ahead and ask yourself, if this were my last day, would I be proud of how I am choosing to live it? This is not about anxiety, but about making conscious choices that align with faith, values, and purpose. Billy Graham often spoke of preparation, not just for the future, but for the challenges of each day. Many believe in focusing solely on positive visualization, expecting success and happiness to manifest through optimism. However, a more profound perspective involves preparing for difficulties with faith and resilience. Negative visualization is not about pessimism, but about readiness, a tool that equips us to handle life's challenges with strength and wisdom. Graham's teachings frequently echoed this idea, urging people to trust in God while also preparing their hearts and minds for inevitable struggles. This practice involves periodically considering potential difficulties and how we might respond with grace and faith. It could be as minor as dealing with unexpected delays or as significant as facing loss or hardship. The goal is not to dwell on suffering, but to develop the mental and spiritual fortitude needed to endure trials with unwavering trust in God. By contemplating life's uncertainties, we grow in resilience and gratitude. In allowing hardships to shake our faith, we can use them to strengthen it. Starting the day with this mindset transforms our approach to life's unpredictability. We step into each moment prepared, not fearful. We handle setbacks with composure, knowing that we have already visualized and prayed through these scenarios. This practice doesn't diminish joy, but enhances it. By recognizing the fragility of life, we cherish it more deeply. To integrate this principle into your morning routine, take a moment to reflect on potential challenges and how you would respond with faith and wisdom. Visualize the strength you would need, the lessons you could learn, and how you would rely on God for guidance. This mindset does not invite negativity, but empowers you to meet life's uncertainties with courage and trust. Billy Graham's teachings consistently reinforce the importance of spiritual preparedness, of equipping the heart and mind through faith, prayer, and reflection. In embracing this principle, we cultivate resilience, deepen our gratitude, and approach each day with the strength to live fully and faithfully. Let each morning serve as a reminder that life is a precious gift, one to be lived with purpose, intention, and an unwavering commitment to God's plan. Then, let go of the visualization and move forward with your day, carrying a sense of preparedness and a heightened appreciation for your current circumstances. Incorporating gratitude into our lives, especially as we end our day, can have a transformative impact on our well-being and perspective. Keeping a gratitude journal is a beautifully simple yet profoundly effective way to cultivate this sense of appreciation. Taking a few moments before bed to reflect on the day and jot down a few things we're grateful for, whether it be a kind gesture from a stranger, a breathtaking sunset, the completion of a challenging task, or simply the comfort of our bed, helps shift our focus from what is lacking to the abundance that already exists. This practice aligns perfectly with Billy Graham's teachings, which emphasize focusing on what we have rather than what we don't, on what is within our control rather than what isn't. This shift in perspective not only sets the stage for a peaceful night's sleep, free from the turmoil of unfulfilled desires or lingering frustrations, but it also primes our minds to begin the next day with a sense of purpose and gratitude. But why end the day with gratitude? Because it allows us to close our day on a note of positivity, regardless of the challenges we may have faced. It is a way of reaffirming the good in our lives, finding peace, even in turmoil, and fostering a mindset that sees opportunities for growth and joy in every circumstance. This nightly practice of gratitude creates a ripple effect, influencing not just how we sleep, but how we wake up and approach our mornings. It transforms our first thoughts of the day from dreading the alarm clock to quietly anticipating what the new day holds and what new things we might discover to be grateful for. Moreover, this practice of appreciating life extends beyond our personal sphere. It enhances our relationships as we become more attuned to the value of those around us and more expressive of our appreciation for their presence in our lives. It deepens our connection to the world as we become more observant of and thankful for the beauty and wonder that surround us, often in the most mundane moments. As we consider the multitude of strategies to enrich our mornings and by extension our lives, let us not overlook the power of ending our day with gratitude. It is a practice that embodies the pursuit of a meaningful life, one marked not by external achievements or material possessions, but by inner peace, contentment, and a deep-seated appreciation for the present moment. As we conclude this journey through the 10 strategies inspired by Billy Graham's wisdom, it becomes clear that each step, each practice, is more than just a task. It is a pathway to cultivating a life of intention, resilience, and profound gratitude. Embracing these practices does not mean that every day will be perfect, but it does mean that each day will be met with a stronger, more grateful, and more resilient version of yourself. You have within you the power to transform not just your mornings, but your entire life into a reflection of the ideals of virtue, wisdom, and contentment. Remember, this is just the beginning. There is a vast world of wisdom waiting to be explored, ready to guide you on your path to living a more meaningful and fulfilled life. If you found this journey enlightening and are eager to dive deeper into these teachings, I encourage you to explore our playlist right here on the screen. It is packed with insights, stories, and practical tips to help you embrace the full richness of this wisdom. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more content. Please leave your comments and share your experiences. Let's embark on this journey of growth, resilience, and fulfillment together. Here's to mornings filled with purpose, days lived with intention, and a life brimming with gratitude. Thank you for being part of this community. See you soon. Ladies and gentlemen, there comes a time in every man's life when the silence in his home speaks louder than the noise of the world. He wakes up to an empty room, walks through a house filled with echoes, and sits at a table where no one waits for him. The world around him rushes forward. couples holding hands, laughter in the air, love stories unfolding before his eyes. Yet he walks a different path, not because he cannot love, but because life has led him to a place where he must stand alone. Loneliness is not always a choice, but how a man faces it defines his strength. There are those who believe that without a partner, without a hand to hold, without a voice calling their name in the night, life is incomplete. But what if I told you that the solitude of one man can hold more power than the distractions of 1,000 voices? What if I told you that in the quiet, in the stillness, in the moments where no one watches? This is not a story of despair, nor is it a cry for sympathy. This is a story of resilience, of faith, of a man who chooses to walk this road with his head held high, knowing that his worth is not determined by whether someone stands beside him, because when the world says you need someone to complete you, there is a deeper voice whispering, you are already whole. There is a common misunderstanding in the world today that being alone is a sign of weakness. People often assume that a man who lives without a partner, without a girlfriend, without someone constantly by his side, must be lacking something, must be incomplete, must be in need of fixing. But the truth is far greater than that. Solitude is not a burden, it is a gift. It is not a sign of weakness, it is a training ground for strength. Think of the great men in history, the ones who changed the course of the world. They were not always surrounded by crowds. Many of them walked alone for long seasons of their lives. They spent time in deep thought, in prayer, in reflection. They did not fear the silence because they understood that silence is where strength is built. It is in solitude that a man truly meets himself, where he faces his deepest fears, his greatest doubts, and his most powerful dream. When a man is alone, he is given the opportunity to develop something that many never will: inner resilience. In the noise of companionship, it is easy to lean on others, to let their voices drown out the whispers of his own soul. But when he walks alone, he has no choice but to listen. He hears his own thoughts, his own struggles, his own questions about life. And in that process, he learns to stand firm. He learns to be his own anchor, his own foundation, his own guide. This kind of strength is not found in crowds. It is not developed in constant company. It is forged in the fire of solitude. It is in the quiet moments when no one is watching that a man discovers what he is truly made of. He learns that his worth is not determined by who loves him, who stands beside him, or who calls his name in the night. His worth is found in his character, his integrity, his ability to walk forward even when no one is cheering him on. Society has painted a picture that a man without a woman is somehow lost, but what if he is not lost at all? What if instead he is being refined? What if his solitude is not an accident but a divine appointment? What if this time alone is not meant to break him but to build him? The world sees a man sitting alone and assumes he is lonely. But what if he is sitting in the presence of something greater? What if he is listening to a voice that others are too distracted to hear? Strength is not found in the easy places. It is not built in comfort. It is shaped in the moments where a man has to face himself, where he has to wrestle with his own thoughts, where he has to decide who he will be when no one else is looking. A man who learns to stand strong in solitude is a man who cannot be shaken. When the storms of life come, he has already faced his greatest battles alone, and he has won. Think of the warrior who trains in the mountains far away from the noise of the city. He does not need an audience. He does not require applause. He trains in silence, knowing that when the time comes, he will be ready. He does not question his purpose simply because he walks alone. He knows that his strength is being built in the hidden places, in the moments no one sees. And so it is with a man who lives alone. His life is not empty, it is full of preparation. His days are not wasted, they are being used to refine him. He is not without direction, he is being led in ways that only those who embrace solitude can understand. He is learning patience, discipline, focus. He is developing a kind of strength that is unshakable, that is not dependent on circumstances or people. There will be times when doubt creeps in, when the world's voice tries to convince him that he is missing out, that he is somehow incomplete. But those who know the power of solitude do not give in to those lies. They understand that true strength is not found in being surrounded by people, but in knowing who you are when you stand alone. A man who embraces solitude is not running from love, he is preparing for something deeper. He is not afraid of companionship. He is simply not desperate for it. He knows that his value is not tied to his relationship status. His worth is not measured by who chooses him. His identity is not wrapped up in whether he is alone or not. This kind of man walks with confidence, not because he has everything, but because he knows that what he lacks does not define him. He is aware that solitude is not a curse, but a season of growth. He does not waste his days longing for someone to complete him. Instead, he uses his days to become complete within himself. And when the world looks at him, when they wonder how he can stand so strong, how he can walk with such purpose despite being alone, they will see the truth. They will see that solitude is not a sign of weakness. It is a training ground for strength. It is where a man is made, where his heart is tested, where his soul is refined. The man who learns to stand alone is the man who will never be shaken, no matter what life brings. Loneliness was never meant to be a punishment. What if the moments of solitude were not signs of something missing, but invitations to something greater? When a man finds himself alone, he stands at a crossroads. He can either see his solitude as an unbearable burden, something to escape at any cost, or he can embrace it as a season of growth, a time of refinement, a sacred space where he can discover the depths of his own soul. Those who run from loneliness often run from themselves. They distract themselves with people, with noise, with anything that will keep them from sitting in silence and facing the deeper questions of life. But those who are brave enough to embrace solitude, to lean into the silence, to listen to what their heart is truly saying, these are the men who grow. These are the men who become strong, not just in body, but in mind, in spirit, and wisdom. Loneliness has a way of revealing who a man really is. When no one else is around to affirm him, to validate him, to tell him what to do, he is left with nothing but himself, and in that space, he must decide who he is, without the influence of a relationship, without the expectations of others shaping his identity. He has the rare opportunity to strip away everything false and come face to face with his true self. This is where faith is tested. When a man is alone, he can no longer rely on the comfort of another person's presence to keep him stable. He must turn to something deeper, something eternal. He must find his grounding in faith, in a belief that he is not truly alone, that there is a greater purpose behind his solitude. It is in these moments that he learns to trust, to listen, to seek something beyond the physical world. Some of the greatest men in history have walked through long seasons of solitude. They withdrew from the world not because they were weak, but because they understood that true strength is built in the quiet places. They knew that in order to lead, in order to make an impact, in order to become who they were meant to be, they had to first find themselves in the stillness. They did not fear being alone because they knew that solitude was a classroom where wisdom is taught. A man who embraces loneliness as an opportunity rather than a curse begins to see life differently. He no longer views himself as someone who is missing out, but as someone who is being prepared. He understands that this season of being alone is not about what he lacks, but about what he is gaining. He is gaining clarity. He is gaining inner peace. He is gaining a deeper understanding of himself and of the world around him. It is in solitude that a man can refine his thoughts, sharpen his vision, and strengthen his character. When there are no distractions, when there is no one else to impress, he has the freedom to be honest with himself. He can evaluate his values, his beliefs, his goals. He can ask himself the hard questions. What do I truly want? What do I truly believe? Who am I when no one else is watching? These are the questions that many people avoid their entire lives. They stay busy, they jump from one relationship to the next. They fill their days with constant activity so that they never have to stop and think. But a man who is willing to embrace solitude, to sit in the quiet and wrestle with these questions, will come out stronger, wiser, and more at peace than those who spend their lives running from loneliness. Faith is not something that grows in comfort. It is not something that develops when everything is going well, when a man is surrounded by love and companionship. Faith is built in the moments when he has nothing else to rely on, when he must stand alone and trust that there is something greater holding him up. Faith is what carries a man through the seasons of solitude, reminding him that he is never truly alone, that even in the silence he is being watched over, guided. Self-awareness is another gift that comes with embracing loneliness. When a man has time to reflect, to truly understand himself, he becomes more secure in who he is. He no longer seeks approval from others because he has already approved of himself. He no longer fears rejection because he knows his worth does not depend on anyone else's opinion. This kind of self-awareness creates confidence, not the shallow confidence that comes from external validation, but a deep, unshakable confidence that comes from knowing exactly who you are. A man who has spent time alone, who has faced himself, who has taken the opportunity to grow in faith and self-awareness, is a man who is ready for anything. He is not desperate for a relationship because he has already built a full and meaningful life on his own. He is not afraid of being alone because he has learned to enjoy his own company. He does not feel the need to prove anything to anyone because he has already proven to himself that he is strong, capable, and whole. The world often views loneliness as a problem that needs to be solved, but the truth is, loneliness is an invitation. It is an opportunity to step into something greater, to develop a deeper relationship with oneself and with God, to refine one's purpose and prepare for the future. It is not an absence, but a gift, a space in which a man can grow in ways that he never could if he were constantly surrounded by people. So when a man finds himself alone, he should not see it as a punishment. He should not rush to fill the space with meaningless distractions. Instead, he should embrace it, use it, cherish it, because in that solitude he will find something far greater than he ever imagined. He will find himself. The world watches him, wondering why he is not desperate for a relationship, questioning how he can be content in solitude. But in their curiosity, they see the truth. He is not empty, not waiting for someone to complete him. He is already whole, already strong, already living with purpose. If love enters his life, it will not be because he needed it to survive, but because he was already thriving and found someone who was doing the same. Love for him is not a desperate search for completion, but an extension of the wholeness he has cultivated within himself. A man's peace should never be dependent on another person. In a world that relentlessly promotes the idea that happiness comes from being with someone, that fulfillment is tied to relationships, true strength lies in standing alone and saying, my peace does not depend on anyone but me. Too many people place the burden of their inner peace on someone else, expecting another to bring them happiness, to heal their emotional wounds, to calm their storms. But a man who understands his worth, who has built his life on a foundation stronger than fleeting emotions, knows that peace is internal, something no one else can give or take away. Peace is not found in another person, it is found within. A man who relies on others for emotional stability will always be at the mercy of their actions. If they love him, he is happy. If they leave him, he is broken. If they approve of him, he feels worthy. If they reject him, he feels lost. But this is not peace, this is dependency. And a man who lives in dependency can never truly be free. True peace is unshakable. It is not built on relationships, emotions, or circumstances, but on a foundation that remains steady despite life's changes. A man who has found true peace within himself is not shaken by loneliness. He does not rush into relationships to escape solitude, nor does he seek validation from others because he has already validated himself. His sense of security is not rooted in companionship, but in something far deeper than human connection. This kind of peace is rare but powerful. It allows a man to walk through life with confidence, knowing that no matter what happens, he will remain standing. This is not to say that love and companionship are not beautiful. They are, but they should never be the foundation of a man's peace. A relationship should add to his life, not be the glue that holds it together. Too often people enter relationships hoping for stability, only to find that when the relationship struggles, their entire world collapses. But a man who has built his peace from within does not experience this. He welcomes love when it comes, but does not depend on it for survival. If a relationship ends, he does not crumble because his foundation was never built on another person. It was built on something far stronger. When a man finds peace within himself, he no longer feels the need to prove anything to anyone. He does not chase approval, does not beg for attention, and does not fear being alone. He is content with his own company. He enjoys solitude not because he is antisocial, but because he understands the value of being at peace with himself. He does not need constant validation to feel worthy because he has already determined his worth. The world struggles to understand such a man. It wonders why he is not desperate for love, why he does not seek someone to complete him. It cannot comprehend how a man can be happy, confident, and fulfilled without a romantic relationship. But the truth is, this man has discovered something many never will. That real peace is not found in another person, but in truly knowing oneself and being completely secure in that knowledge. This kind of peace makes a man powerful, unbreakable. It allows him to walk through life with his head held high, not out of arrogance, but out of certainty, because he knows that nothing outside of him can destroy what he has built within. He does not fear abandonment because he has never abandoned himself. He does not fear rejection because he has already accepted himself. A man who has mastered his own peace does not chase love. Love finds him. There is something deeply attractive about a man who is secure, who does not need a relationship to feel valuable, who carries himself with quiet confidence. When love does come, it is a choice, not a necessity. He does not enter relationships out of fear of being alone, but out of a genuine desire to share his life with someone. Too many people spend their lives running from themselves, filling their days with distractions, relationships, anything to avoid sitting alone with their thoughts. But a man who has found peace within does not run. He stands still, faces himself, and learns to love his own company. He understands that his worth is not defined by whether someone loves him, but by the character he has built, the values he upholds, and the way he moves through the world. This does not mean life will always be easy. Even the strongest man faces challenges, struggles, and moments of doubt. But a man who has built his peace internally knows how to withstand the storm. He does not allow circumstances to dictate his happiness, heartbreak to destroy him, or loneliness to define him. He knows that no matter what happens, he will be okay, because his peace is not something that can be taken away. It is something that lives within him. A man who has found his own peace is not bitter. He does not walk through life with resentment, blaming others for his struggles or holding grudges against those who have hurt him. He understands that peace is not just about being alone, but about letting go of anger, pain, and anything that threatens to steal his joy. He forgives not because others deserve it, but because he refuses to let negativity take root in his heart. He moves forward not because he is unaffected by life's difficulties, but because he has learned how to carry them without allowing them to weigh him down. In a world that constantly tells people they need someone else to be happy, he stands apart. He proves that wholeness is not found in another person, but in a deep understanding of oneself. Because of this, he is not easily shaken. He does not waver in the face of hardship. nor does he waver in the face of love. He knows that his life has meaning whether or not someone is standing beside him, and so he walks with peace, unrushed, unshaken, undeterred by the opinions of others. He understands that true happiness does not come from being with someone, but from being at peace with oneself. And once a man has found this peace, nothing in the world can take it from him. A man who walks his path alone is not weak, he is strong beyond measure. In a world that glorifies companionship, relationships, and social validation, it takes a rare kind of strength for a man to walk alone, to build himself without leaning on another, to carve his own path without waiting for someone to walk beside him. This is not the path of a man who has failed to find love, but of